Hey YouTube, thanks for stopping by checking out the channel. This week here we had a really good interview with Ray C's Harley Davidson in Pier, Michigan lined up. However, I made the mistake of not realizing that they had their store music playing in the background, and it kind of was pretty prominent all through the interview. So gonna make most of the interview unusable, pretty much all of the interview unusable. So I'd rather wait to put that up until I can do them better justice because they were a pretty good group of guys and gave a really good interview. So instead, we're going to put up a video of us picking up here a customer bike and getting it loaded on the trailer, and then we're going to go back to doing. I got 3 Indians this week. They're all 41 Indian fours, one from the National Motorcycle Museum, and 2 that were in our warehouse that did a video. So, hope you enjoy it. All right, like I said in the beginning here, we're going to have 3 1941 Indian fours coming up. The first one here is a nice restored one that we got out of the National Motorcycle Museum in Anamosa, Iowa, and the other 2 are a bit rougher, but they're still 41 Indian fours that we had hauled for individuals, out of our warehouse there. But basically, the Indian 4 is an American inline 4-cylinder motorcycle. It's started out being powered by a 1265cc air-cooled aluminum engine. It's capable of 40 horsepower and 90 mile an hour. I think actually 70 on the early versions. Indian have always been far more famous for their V twins. However, in 1927, they bought the bankrupt Ace Motor Company specifically to get their hands on the company's inline 4. The plan being that they would develop their own new high-end motorcycle around it. When they acquired Ace, they also hired the former chief engineer who would continue to develop the engine while at Indian and the new motorcycle around it. The Indian 4 was in production from 1928 until 1942 when all factory efforts switched over to the war effort. Production didn't restart after World War II, and the surviving examples of the model are now highly collectible. The story of the Indian 4 begins with the Henderson Motorcycle Company, founded in 1911 by Tom and William Henderson. The company was known for its advanced inline 4-cylinder motorcycles, which offered excellent performance and were therefore popular among police forces. In 1917, the Hendersons sold their company to Schwinn, the owner of Excelsior Motor Manufacturing and Supply Company, and also the founder of the famous Schwinn Bicycle Company. The relationship between the Henderson brothers and Schwinn quickly soured, leading to William Henderson's departure from the company in 1919. William Henderson went on to found the Ace Motor Company with the help of Heavier Ford Cycle Company. Later that same year, he continued to develop and refine the inline 4-cylinder engine. The Ace 4, introduced in 1920, was a high-performance motorcycle that quickly gained a reputation for speed and reliability. Unfortunately, the Ace Motor Corporation faced financial difficulties and ceased operations in 1924. Ownership of the company changed hands at least twice after this, before it was a behemoth of the American motorcycle world. Recognizing the potential of the engine that powered the Ace 4, Indian acquired the assets of Ace Motor Company in 1927. The Springfield based company, known for its popular Scout and Chief models, saw an opportunity to expand its product line and capitalize on the growing demand for powerful, high performance motorcycle that could nudge close to 100 miles an hour. The Indian 4 debuted in 1928 as a modest evolution of the Ace 4. The new motorcycle retained the inline four-cylinder engine, but featured numerous improvements and refinements. The first Indian 4 Model 401 boasted a 77 cubic inch 1265cc engine with a 3-speed transmission and was capable of 90 plus miles an hour, an impressive speed for the time. In 1929, the Model 402 was introduced, featuring a stronger frame and better handling. Throughout the 1930s, the Indian 4 saw a series of modifications and improvements. The frame and suspension were improved for better handling and comfort, and the engine was constantly upgraded. Power output on highly tuned models were said to reach almost 50 horsepower. Indian introduced several aesthetic changes, including the signature Indian streamlined fenders front and rear. The peak of Indian's 4's development came in 1940 with the introduction of the Model 440, featuring an upswept exhaust system, skirted fenders, and the Indian red color scheme. The new model showcased some of the most advanced design and engineering features of the era, earning a reputation as the pinnacle of American motorcycle luxury. The onset of World War II brought about a shift in focus for the Indian Motorcycle Manufacturing Company. As the company devoted more resources to the war effort, the production of civilian motorcycles, including the Indian 4, decreased. The last Indian 4 rolled off the assembly line in 1942, marking the end of an era. The 4 wouldn't return to production after World War II, with V-twins taking the leading role in American motorcycle market. In 1903, Mr. W.J. Graham submitted a patent for the sidecar. Soon after, the popularity of the sidecar expanded exponentially due to its usefulness and affordability in comparison to the price of cars at the time. While the earliest styles were remarkably different from each other, they did have one thing in common: a complete lack of health and safety standards. This was to be expected, as advancements could not have been achieved without experimentation, even if it was at the passenger's expense. In 1913, American inventor Hugo Young produced a brand new sidecar design that removed the rigidness of the then fixed sidecar. Instead, Young proposed a much more flexible joining, allowing the sidecar to move smoothly with the bike without affecting balance. The design saw an overall improvement, making the experience for the driver and passenger safer and more comfortable. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more.